More Masters content. Let's go. This one's still fresh. I'm going to jump right in. I'm not going to do much of an intro this time, but I'm playing someone that I've played before. His name is Jared. Jared and I get along great. Really like him. He's been playing a long time from what he said. I'm still kind of getting to know him. We played at the beginning of the season, so I'll throw up a card for that first match. And it was actually the first match of the season for me. And I felt like I was coming in really level. But that was a rough match. That I think was when I was like, guys, don't watch this one or something. 8-ball threatens the side pocket. That's going to come into play later, so pay attention to that. Going for the second ball break. It's a win in this format, so you might as well. And I've been hitting the break really well. But I'm especially excited about this one because I've been working really hard this year, guys. Working really hard on my game. And excited to see that paying off in these competitive formats, trying to get out for as much play as I can. Got a lot of stuff going on personally, so I just can't, play as much as I might otherwise. But all the personal stuff is really good. And so, nothing to complain about necessarily, but just not as much time under pressure as I might normally get. But yeah, just yesterday, the heat wasn't on in the building at all. So it was pretty chilly at first. And so the warm-up was sort of in the game and in the room. But I do eventually settle in a little bit. I had been warming up on my own for a little while, so I was feeling pretty level. I feel like I warmed up on a different table, so I didn't really have a feel for the speed on this table, but I felt pretty solid coming into this. As I'm showing up there in the format, I don't know Jared's skill level really. I know, as I said, he's been playing for a long time. Had like some kind of title that he won when he was in a juniors division, so definitely knows his way around the game. We're opening up here. Made a solid on the break. It is take what you make, APA style. So I had to go with the solids. I think otherwise I might have gone for the stripes, although, this cluster is going to be troublesome. So we just want to get clean on the one ball here in the side, and we're not trying to get out. In this case, there's not really an out with the way the cluster's set up. What I'm playing for is to try to get good on the 3 to claim that pocket, block it up a little bit, and put him down table. And I was pulling up some stats. I know some of you like stats. Let's see. Jared is 4 wins out of 10 matches played this season. And I have 5 out of 7. I feel like I've played more than that now. I guess not. But yeah, I've lost 2. One was against Chris, where I just got spanked. And the other one was against Ishmael, who played great. I wasn't playing bad by any means, but definitely gave up some chances, and he was capitalizing. So just a good match. Just the way it should be played is how I've been thinking about that one. Not upset about that at all. So I put Jared in a tough spot here. He's down table. He doesn't really have a good look at a makeable shot. The 13 goes, but you really don't want to threaten the 8-ball. Putting me up table on the left side of the table, you're almost always going to give me some kind of option on the 3. I wonder if my play in this case would be to try to tie up the 8, push the 13 towards it, push the cue ball over to the right side of the table. He's sort of shying away from it. Yeah, cue ball's really tracking towards that 8, so he could not have been comfortable looking at that. Pretty strategic here in the first match, the first game of the match. I'm looking at how thin I am on the 3. I was trying to figure out if coming off the 3 I could get the breakout. The 14-6 doesn't really line up to threaten the 8-ball, I don't believe. So coming into those, yeah, if I come off the 3, am I going to be able to get into the 5 is what I'm considering here. It's touchy. I think in this case I just open up the cluster and try to keep him down table again. I think I just come into the 6. Yeah, I'm looking at the 6 into the 14. Where does that send the 15? I'm not going to be able to really calculate too much of this. Now that I'm looking at it, I probably could have played the 3 off the 6. I don't think I considered that. It could have gone for sure. And I would have ended up with a shot on the 5, not that I knew that at the time, but yeah, that could have worked out pretty well. His 14 is kind of tied up now on the 3. Got an open shot on the 13. He can play shape on the 11 and the side. 15 ball goes. Good speed control there from Jared, just making sure that he stays up above the 11. I will say mentally, I was feeling really settled. My warm-up was really good. I play here all the time. I play at this particular location all the time, so I'm very familiar with the equipment. The other thing that I noticed about this match is these pockets feel huge now. You guys were right. I mean, obviously, like I knew that, you know, I never doubted it, but these feel huge. I don't know what the size is on these, but they feel huge compared to my home table because I cut it down. The confidence was massive. The confidence boost was huge coming into this match. And I had an extra bonus to confidence because I had played Jared before and I know that I can beat him. And I played so poorly the first time that I played him and I still won. So I was like, I know that I'm going to play better than that. I've made so much progress since the beginning of the season. So I was just working myself into this fervor of I'm going to see my enemies driven before me, you know. I'm going for this 3-ball combo, by the way. I'm back cutting the 5 into the 14. I know that it's going to push towards the 3. There is a really good chance you get a breakout on the 6-ball based on the cut on the 5. Ooh, that works. Nice. That one felt really good. I knew that I was going to end up with some kind of look at the 5 or the 6. It's unfortunate that the 5 is blocked. I guess the option here would be to play the 5 into the 14 and take that pocket again, but you're not really blocking it against anything. You have a look at the 6, and the consideration here is if you go really thin off the 6 and overcut it, do you play into the 5 full enough to nudge it out of there? You undercut the 6 to this side of the pocket and try to get above the 5. It's tough. It's really tough. It's thinner than I think the camera angle makes it seem. So I'm bearing down here. I'm making sure to make this 6-ball and run into the 5 or the 14. Played it center of the pocket, and man, what a bad roll. What a bad little nudge off the 5 to scratch there and go thin past the 14. I'm not going to get too upset about that. I cut the 6 really well, played right into where I wanted to go. This is tough because against a lot of players in this format, and I think, you know, Jared certainly could get out from here, but he's just got to make good decisions on his patterns. I think you're looking at 11, 10, 8 for the final shots. You just need to make sure that you're getting clean on those. He's a little funny on the 15 though, so he's having to go up table. I think I would have wanted to get above the 15 to get back down for the 14, to get over for the 11. 10 is the key ball to get on the 8. Yeah, a little touchy here. So undercuts the 10, kind of sends it into the rail and out. I've got an opportunity. The 5 goes, you could bank the 5 cross side. I'm not super comfortable with those, although it's probably a bigger pocket than trying to play it past the 11. I decided to go for it in the left side. I decided to play it into the side. You basically just have to commit to, am I playing it clean or am I playing it off the 11? I opt for playing it off the 11, which in retrospect, probably not the best because there is a chance of pushing the 11 in your way. The speed was good. Cue ball came out pretty well, but you see what I mean. The 11 could very easily interpose and block the 8. He knows he's got to get up table and doesn't waste any time on that. His 11 ball's in a weird spot. He's going to have to probably shape a bank unless he's comfortable coming off the 10 and rolling into the 11. That can be tricky, though. That's probably a little hard to judge. There's a lot of ways that can go wrong. And you could unintentionally cheat the pocket on the 10 and completely miss the 11 and get onto the wrong side of it. I think probably the best play is to keep the cue ball up here and play shape for that cross-side bank on the 11. Still tough. Seems like that's what he's going for, though, is he's going to hold it. Kind of spinning it kind of low outside, it looked like, which I don't know if that's really necessary here, but some players just sort of do that intuitively. Looks like kind of a parallel shift type system there for the bank. Maybe some spin kind of counteracted that. It looks like he leaves me in sort of a weird spot here, but this is a pretty favorable roll. It could have been way worse. If the 11 had gone just slightly further, it would have blocked the pocket. In this case, the carom is really natural. The 5 goes off the 11. You just have to make sure to play it at the right speed. You're never going to get hooked. So just focus on making the 5 here. Nice, easy touch. Yeah, really natural. Wrap up that game. Jared made some comment after, I gotta pause it. Jared made some comment after that first game, and he was like, well, that sure wasn't run out pool, was it? Like, you know, just kind of joking, kind of just like riffing. And I was like, okay. Let's see how that goes. 8 ball on the right side. Quick one. I pointed out to him to make sure that because I think he was looking away. I played that break shot. I hit that first one really good. It was threatening the side. He made some comment here again. He was like, man, I hate that rule. It's all luck. And I was like, well, not all luck. There's certainly plenty of luck involved, but you got to hit it right. You got to know how to hit that ball. This one doesn't go anywhere. This 8 ball doesn't move at all. But in pretty short order, controlling that first game and 8 ball in the break in that second one. These 8 ball sets can go quick, but if the games drag kind of like the first one did, if it's very strategic, your match can go really long. This is a long stretch, Jared. Get a bridge or something, bro. So he knew he was going to end up down table, and he knows the 14 is a problem. I don't mind getting on the 14 now, but this is the trouble where, as amateurs, I mean, if we are trying so hard to get out all the time, he's going to be opening this up. You know, let's just assume he doesn't make the 14. He's going to be opening this up. Things could go really wrong, and he could play into the 6-10 and open that for me. Which, yeah, oh man, that's exactly what happened. And he wouldn't have had great shape. I think it's tough to get shape off that ball. Just playing sort of attack mode here. There's certainly times where it's called for to just go a little more conservative, keep control of the table, and play safe in situations like that. Or tie up something else and slow down your opponent. I mean, I'm already on 2 games up. And I've got a great look at this table. I just have to sort of clear these blockers, the 4 and the 1. So off this 5 ball, I'm trying to roll into the short rail and get above the 1 so that I can get tidy shape on the 4. That's pretty natural here, just sort of a high ball. The angle on the 4, we want to come out for the 3, ideally. We don't need to be straight on the 3 necessarily, but I'll just be pinching off the 1. This looks okay. Low outside, kind of hold this to spin back up towards the 3. It's sort of, it's hard to get back towards where the cue ball is now, I think, because I'll be digging into the long rail a little bit, so it'll end up coming out closer to the center of the table. But that should not be an issue. I think as long as I get good on the 3, we're fine. I let it out a little bit more. I don't mind that, I guess, looking back on it, because these balls moving the 11 out of the way actually gave me better access to the 8. A little bit tougher on the 3, but still really playable. Looks like 3 get back down for the 2. I wouldn't want to try to hold for the 2 in the side because then you're not stroking the 3. Maybe just a pinch of inside to straighten it out. Go to the center of the table when in doubt, right? Now I've got the option of the 6 or the 2. I could play the 6, float up above the 2, but then I think shape from the 2 to the 7 is a little tougher. So I'm letting my stroke out on the 2 ball, and I want to come out and across to get on the 6, 6, 7, 8. That's the kind of shot, guys, where previously I don't think I would have fully let the stroke out. I wouldn't have been in my kind of feel-good stroke. The bartender just sort of swoops through. But like I said, the pockets feel huge now. Even on this one, like I'm willing to punch that out a little bit, get myself slightly better shape on the 7. I didn't need to do that necessarily. I could have played this off the rail. But wouldn't you rather be here? Wouldn't you rather have a little bit of a back cut that takes you naturally towards the 8? When things just flow. So a nice little table run here to put us up 3. Staying with the second ball break, it's been working. Not that I want to be snapping those in all the time, but I get good shape. Most of the time, I'll get close to the center of the table. This time I lost the cue ball a little bit. I'm either looking for it to come out and through or up off the pack a little bit to get closer to the center of the table. And 11 ball goes down this time. Immediately have to look at potential trouble spots. The 9 is blocked by the 2. I can't really play the 9. I guess you could play the bank shot. Some people might try to play that. I don't love that for myself. I think I'd rather, like I looked at, try to get on this side of the 9, which the 15 could get us there, or we might be trying to get there right now. Float across table and then draw off the 13. Yeah. Because now I'm pretty straight on the 13. I'll just draw back across. I'm looking at that line. And if I need to go into the rail to draw it back out, give myself a little more room. I typically trust my draw stroke, the accuracy of the draw stroke, and feel reasonably confident that I can get it into here or here or here or into the rail and back out. I practice that a lot. And once I have a feel for the speed of the table, I'm pretty confident that I can get it where I need it to go. If I'm hitting it properly, if I'm hitting it with that confident stroke. And I was. Yeah, so I just used the rail to open it up a little bit. We're good on the 9. I will have to, let's see, I think I go 14, 10, 15 here. The cue ball naturally wants to come off the 9 and either straight back or, you know, if you hit lower on the cue ball, it's going to come back out. Don't really want that. We're going to have to dive into the short rail here. So inside, high inside to roll through and get reasonably straight on the 14. It's a good play. We have a good line on the 14. I don't really want to stop it, so I was looking at just a stop shot. I do want to pinch it back a little bit, and I'm making sure that I see where I need to be on the 10 to get to where I need to be on the 15, which is close to the second diamond here, and just set myself up for a follow shot on the 10. Pinch back. Pretty close to that exact line. It's another thing that I've been thinking about, especially since my matches with Tommy. You just don't need to be playing pinpoint precision position, especially in, you know, bar tables. Just play to big zones, take what you get. You're fine. I mean, you're absolutely fine here. And that's been the benefit of all this training this year, is I'm finding that mode, that mental mode, where I can just flow and I am doing the things that I'm preaching. I'm trusting my game. Even that one, a confident stroke to punch out. I'm not going to be afraid to come across. I have a lot of room. Even getting out further would be fine. But we're talking about an 8-ball set where, you know, table runs and an 8 on the break and a break and run here. Jared makes some comment at the end of that one. He was like, hey, so should I just like pack up my cues and go home or what? It's like, just kind of laughed back. Underhit this break shot pretty significantly. End up making a ball. Sort of just a wild ball. It is funny how the little comments that our opponents make can sometimes stick with us and make us play differently, or they can certainly do harm, right? They can get like kind of worm into our head. But it's that, I think it was the color of money, you know, Newman was like, just for that I'm gonna beat you flat. Or maybe it was the hustler. I don't know. But you get that fire lit in you, right? He said something like Jared said something about wasn't run out pool. It's like, all right, we'll see. So here's the thing: do I just try to run this out? It's tough. The 5-6-8 situation here is not pretty. The 5 goes. I'm pretty sure the 5 will go down here. I have to shape the 7 ball off the 2, and I don't. Oh, some kind of weird spin on that. Didn't need to do all that, but still hit it well enough for it to go. I end up having to take this weird shot on the 7. But honestly, in this case, the angle that I have could help to open this up a little bit. You just focus on making this ball, though. I can't be doing anything crazy. That's pretty nice. You got the 6 ball out of trouble. I think the 5 still goes in the bottom right corner. I'm almost certain that it goes. I have a nice angle on the 6 to get across table for the 4. It's the 4 ball up there. That's the mode. Just sort of looking at the rail. Where's my position window? Where's the biggest part of that position window? Where do I need to be? And then trust my game to get me there. Let the angles do the work. I have a nice angle on the 4. I should be able to keep this pretty tight. I look at my window on the 5, this must go. So the window is, you know, in here. The problem with this window is, in order to get shape on the 1, because the 1 goes over here, how do you get, unless I get perfectly straight on the 5, how do you get from the 5 to the 1? Over onto that side of the 1, there's so many blockers. I almost like, I'm going to pause it and think about this. I almost like, I don't think I even considered this play at the table, but I almost like going into the short rail and playing shape for the 1 right now. That's probably the better play, guys. I'm playing for the 5 in the match. I remember what I did, but I think this is the right play to get into this window. Then you make the 1. The 5 goes in the side. That was the out. Much higher percentage. Because here's what can happen. Sort of bobble in the 4 and overplay that, and because I cut it weird, and now we're no good. I briefly entertained a jump shot on the 1, even though I have full access to the 5, which is silly. You should never do that. But if you did, hear me out. If you did jump the 1 and make it, you have a pretty good chance of getting some kind of look at the 5 in the side, and you could still get out. But I'm not going to do that because I'm not a complete idiot. So I'm just going to roll the 5 out of trouble. I don't love this. I'm opening up the table. There was probably a way to put the 5 on something to tie up the table a little bit. But I give him a really good chance to clear some things or just get out of the rack. I think if he solves the 9-10 situation, everything else is pretty straightforward. 12 might get a little funny into the side, but should still be workable. Now he's sort of backed himself into a corner where he has to take the 14. From here, I would try to get on the 9 or the 10. Play them in the side or the top left corner. Big stretch again. Just must not. He's on the 9. You got to shoot the 9, Jared. I don't remember what he does. No. Shoot the 9. He's going after the 12, which is funny. The angle's kind of funny. Oh, and he tried to kind of spin it in too. I'm on the wrong side of the 5 to draw back above the 1. The 1 obviously doesn't go past the 12. The 1 might go off the 12 if you hit it right. That could have been something. I end up going for the 1. And I try to hold it, but I'm looking at it now and wondering if I should have played this differently and gone for the 5. I don't know if there's anything wrong with going for the 1 here. But you got to make the ball, dude. Yeah. It's been a really good set so far. Don't give me a hard time for that one. I'm still going to miss some dumb stuff. He's not in a great spot though, right? He might not have full access to the 10. 12 cuts in the side, but it's really thin. That is the other thing about Jared. He is not scared of these combos. And he'll just drill them in. He can see these from pretty far away, and he'll just line up and fire them in. Not a ton of pace that time, I guess, but oh no. How does that not fall? He's so scared of it. I would have been really happy with ball in hand here, although admittedly, does the 5 even go on the top left? Probably does. He's telling me about where he wanted to end up. I think the 5, with ball in hand, I think the 5 probably goes in the top left. I wouldn't love to shoot that, but I'd be really happy with ball in hand from here. Put a good stroke on that one. Good solid straight in hit on the 12. I think he's on the wrong side of the 9, so he could play, it's hard to tell. He could play short side on the 15, or he might have to come into the long rail and back out. I think you just roll through this. Yeah, that's a good speed. Okay, so yeah, he did have some angle. This looks good. I think you keep it simple and just play for the 8 in the right side, which he's queuing high. It's probably where we're going. Yeah, I think so. This should be lights out. That 1-5, it's so messed up too, because even if I ended up with another shot up table, I don't know that the 1 even goes. I think he levels out and makes this one though. There you go. Cool. All right. Over to the 9-ball set. Bit of a cut break there. The 1 cooperates and drops. The other thing about Jared is he does not mind big bank shots. Not that the 2-ball banks here, but I think it comes up later in the set, if I'm not mistaken. This position, to me, looks like a pretty natural safe. I wouldn't want to try to cut this in. Doesn't this just scream safe to you? Sort of come off the 2, put them under the 8 and the 9. You know you're going to be sending the 2 out and around. You don't need a ton of pace on the 2. You just control the cue ball. Put some spinny stuff on that. Not sure. Maybe he was trying a... I don't know. He just indicated something to me, but I'm not sure what that was. Because it looked like he was hitting the 2... Maybe he was trying to 2-rail bank it? I'll have to ask him. I don't remember what he said. I am blocked by the 8. I got to get out the jump cue. This is very hittable, and my odds of making these have improved. I'm not training my jump shot that much. I'm just prioritizing other things. The time that I spend really training skills, I'm trying to prioritize the weaker points of my game. And I feel like I jump pretty well, so I'm just going to stick with that for the time being. I did completely change my technique this year, though, and that's been paying off. Yeah, I mean, I hit that great. Just slightly undercut it. Really didn't miss it by much. Just came into the point. Here's the bank. Here's the bank that I was talking about. Jared will just come up and just see this bank shot and just fire it in. And I am not comfortable with those. I would be looking at some kind of cut shot on the 2 to come out and around and try to avoid the 9 or play into the 3 or something. You guys know me. I'd be doing some weird stuff. Oh, he was telling me about his jump shots. Right. He was saying something about he gets a lot of spin on them or unintentional masse. He does shift a lot while he's down on the ball. He played a great bank. Yeah, he fires those in with authority. Shape on the 4 is a little touchy here. He's got to be careful. Yeah, he nudged the 5. I think it's pretty much back where it was, is what we're coming to agree. Shape on the 4 is tough. It's tough to hold it. Coming across table, you're going to bring the 8 and the 7 into play. Kind of a touchy shot. So this is a runnable table. I'm looking at my line off the 3. Making the 3 will naturally take me back down under the 4. I think it's pretty natural shape. I think I need to just cut this in and play speed control to get under the 4. Pretty natural. Yeah, that played really good. This is the same kind of thing. I'm changing my tempo. I'm not giving myself all this silly time to second guess things. I know what I'm supposed to do. I'm not getting hung up on little stuff. It's just so much mental progress this year. Out and back. I will say in this case, I didn't give myself much angle to work with off the 6. In big picture, I'm trying to focus on that more, letting the angles do the work. I'm flat on the 6. I could try to come out and back, and I originally looked at coming to here on the 7. I end up liking this window better. I'm going to be drawing back a little bit of left. Don't need to do too much here, but I get really tidy on the 7. Getting on the 8 ball, you don't want to be straight in on the 8, so you don't want to roll forward too much. Basically just a stop shot to give a thinner cut on the 8, or punching off the 7 a little bit, sort of a stun run through. You'll have the angle on the 8 to take you back down towards the 9. I just stunned off it, even to the side is completely fine, but closer to my feel-good stroke. I didn't have to baby it. And you just sight in this angle, and you will naturally come across table for the 9. I don't think I need any spin here either. I don't think I have to correct with inside or anything silly. Maybe a bit. Maybe I did put a touch of inside on that. I do love me some inside. Love that. It's the same tempo that I'm using, the same confidence that I'm using when I play my ghost drills at home. I am taking that to the table in a competitive situation now. I took a bit off that compared to how I've been breaking 9-ball at home. And stay tuned, I'm going to be putting up a 9-ball breaking video here pretty soon with what I was working on with Tommy. This is a push situation 100%. If I'm at the table, I might consider a jump shot on the 1 because I'm silly and I like jumping the ball. But position's not guaranteed. The 2 ball's in sort of a tough spot. He goes for a push, and he brought up after this situation, I don't think he was entirely clear on the mechanics of the push shot, so we ended up, I think I cut some of the footage, but I talked to him about. That's what it was. I think in his mind, on a push, he felt like you weren't allowed to hit any balls. I think he clarified it in the next rack, and we worked through that. Probably didn't make a huge difference in the strategy of this particular game, but it does come into play in the next rack, I believe. Thin back cut on the 1, no positional guarantee on the 2. I don't like having to deal with the 4 ball potentially if I do cut this in the side. So I'm gonna send him down table. I think I just create distance here. I was sort of hoping to hit the 2 and put him behind the 8, pretty sure. He doesn't waste any time getting down on this. He does nudge the 9, so yeah, we gotta get that back over. He was having a bridge over it. That looks fine. He's not scared of these. He just fires that in. It's on the weird side of the 2. This is a safe for me all day, right? You come off this side of the 2 and put them under the 8. Just play speed control on the 2. He banks this though, doesn't he? Yeah, look at him go. Those are cool. I don't step up and see that as naturally. You got great shape on the 3. Has to do a little bit of work to get up for the 4, but honestly, you could just, well, you can spin the heck out of it and get up there. But I don't think it would have been terrible to just stay down here and take the thin cut on the 4, and then you're naturally going to float down for the 5. Spinning back up here is good. Got kind of an awkward back cut. He overcut it. He was above the 4, and he sent it kind of into the point. I was amazed by that one. We chatted about that for a second. I didn't think he could do that. He said something about he felt like he sort of massaged into it or something. I should get out from here. The 5 takes you right to the 6. 7 and the 8 are hanging. Just controlled draw shot. You know you want to be above the 5, but not aggressively above the 5. Getting straight in on the 5 would be nice. So I could have used a little more. But here's something interesting. I want to pause. Look at my stance. I don't usually stand this way. My leading foot is usually more in line with the cue. And I was looking at this when I was doing the editing. I don't know why I addressed the ball like this on this shot, and it leads to me missing. I don't know how much, how much the foot really came into play. My speed control was really good. My contact was fine, a little bit of outside to tighten it up. But the aim was off. Yeah, speed control was great, but I wonder how often, I'm not looking at that too much when I watch my videos and, do my editing, but I should probably pay more attention to that. My stance was really funky. Hold up. He's okay. That was tough. He's got to back cut this 6. He's got to clutch up too, because I don't think the 7 goes past the 8. Maybe he needs to draw under the 9. to play the 7 in the side or punch above the 9. Might have just been indecisive on that. He felt it. That's kind of a tough position, right? I mean, do you try to punch off the 6? You've got enough angle to work with to get back across for the 7. He's got some kind of plan he's telling me about. I don't remember what he said. I think that's probably what I would have tried to do, is you're back cutting the 6, use that speed, go above the 9, and try to stun back out. I think I take a beat on the 8-9 situation here. The 9 goes in the side, but I remember, yeah, I'm looking at it. I don't love that. But I don't give it too much space. That's the thing. I mean, they all go. Just get good shape on it. So I decide I'm just going to play tidy on the 8, take a look at where I am on the 8, and now I'm up. I'm formulating my plan. I'm deciding. I just come across table. It's really natural. If I end up in the side, I end up in the side. But otherwise, just float across. There's a huge corner pocket up there. It's that kind of simplicity, like stripping away all the weird, complex stuff that can come to mind. And just roll them in. It's really paying off. I've been feeling really, really good about that. Sorry, I'm like kind of puffing myself up here today, just like feeling proud of the work. Break shot reacted, kind of funny. He's going to push again, and I do think this is where we clarify that you can roll into a ball. So he uses the 6, puts me on the 1. This is an unfriendly angle, I'll say. I think a person could cut this in. I don't think I'm that person. I try it. You're going to see what happens. But playing safe is reasonable here. Even just coming off that side of the 1, maybe using the 5 as a blocker, or playing the cue ball out and around would be fine. Just playing the speed of the cue ball. But I try to cut this in. And I'm real close to it, but I just missed the ball. So that's an option. Table's pretty open. Where are the problems? 4 to the 5 could get a little funny. I don't know if the 6 goes past the 7 in the left side here. Is he playing the 2? Oh, he's coming all the way down. That's risky. He ended up pretty good on the 2. That's risky playing in the traffic, though. I might have been playing for the 2 down here. He can still get on the 3. You just have to sort of punch the 2 in the top right and come out to here. Yeah, he tried to get down there. Oh. Yeah, he was thinking about, that makes sense. He was thinking about getting short side on the 3, and I think I made some comment there. We were chatting a lot, as it turns out. Made some comment about just getting through all the traffic. That doesn't bother me usually. I tend to not talk much. I don't initiate much when I'm playing, but I'll banter somewhat. I ended up with enough room between the 6 and the 9 to cue for the 2 ball, and I want to get down on the 3. A bit more would have been nice. I might have actually rushed this one a bit, but we're still fine. We can play above the 8 in here, although it's a little risky. I think I love me some inside, so I'm probably just going to do one of these. My stance is weird again. Look, it's really open. Snooker stance. That's fine. The 5 plays pretty big to the top right corner. Anywhere in here is going to be good. You could accept this too to play the 5 on the side. The key is 5 to the 6. I think the 6 has to go in the top left. Spin that over. Got pretty good on the 5. We're on the left side of it, so that means I'll have to punch over. Our line's sort of here. This is the window? Yeah, I looked at it just now. Okay. Good authoritative stroke. Played it pretty full to the pocket, right? You saw it slide in off the right point. I have a good enough line on the 6. These are a little deceptive. And I think the position play is cut the 6, come out and across to shape the 7 on the left side. Overcut the 6, rolled into the 7 on the way back. I think I hooked him. I think I caught a roll here. Just got to make a good hit. Not too much you can do. You could think about probably going into... Oh, it's going. You might have thought about going into the long rail to try to make the 6. I think that was playable. Jared's got to take some time on this one. He's sort of on the back side of the, like top side of the 7, and it's easy to overroll this. A little bit of indecision there, probably. Overcuts it pretty thick to the top side of the side pocket. Yeah, he was trying to hold it, but kind of overcut. Yeah, it's tough to hold it. Now he's funny on the 8. 8 still goes, but you're turning the cue ball loose. If you try to cut it here, you're coming out and around, and it's going to go crazy. I think at our level here, you just want to focus on making the ball. A little bit of a shift. He didn't miss it by much, honestly. He came up here. Leaves me a bit of a tester. I check my line for the 9 ball. This is exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not taking a bunch of laps. I'm not rechecking my windows. I'm following my same routine. I'm staying level. I'm staying still. Clean delivery through the ball. Natural shape on the 9. And that will do it for the match with Jared. Hope you guys like this one. I had a lot of fun playing with Jared. Like I said, these results, they're feeling really good. So love to see this. Just trying to keep it strong here till the end of the season. There's one more match from yesterday. That one's going to come up again soon. We have a match next month, so the beginning of February we play. And then the playoffs are mid-February. So pretty confident we're going to make it to the playoffs. We're in second place right now. And unless something catastrophic happens, I'm not even sure that's possible, just numerically here. So very confident we're going to playoffs. I think in our division, you have to finish in first place to qualify for Vegas, and that's a tall order. The team that's in first place, they're very strong, and they have a really good record throughout the season. They have some really, really good players. One of them is Chris, the guy that wiped me out earlier in the season. So I expect if they keep performing that way, it's unlikely we'll qualify for Vegas, but it's not impossible. So stay tuned, more to come. The next match is very, very exciting, so I'm really looking forward to doing the commentary for that. As always, hope you guys enjoy. Make sure you like it, do the YouTube things, share it with your friends. That's another thing that I don't talk about too much. Sharing the video actually helps it a lot too. So if you know somebody who might like this kind of content, might like the channel, please send it over to them. I would appreciate that. Subscribe, just do all the things. I'm calling to action. You know, I always do it. But yes, thank you guys for being here. I will see you again soon.